The mark appeared on her skin the moment his eyes opened, silver and burning, spreading across her wrist like wildfire, while the entire court watched in horrified silence. Kira had only meant to stop the bleeding. She never imagined that touching the dying Alpha King would bind her to him forever. But that discovery came later. The nightmare began 3 days earlier, when they dragged her into the grand hall to scrub blood from the stones. "On your knees, servant," Beta Marcus commanded, his boots shoving her shoulder. "The Alpha King returns tonight. These floors will shine." Kira dropped to the cold marble, brush in hand, her worn dress soaking up the soapy water. Around her, the castle buzzed with frantic preparation. Alpha King Damon was returning from the northern wars, victorious, they said, though the rumors whispered something darker. Cursed. Changed. Wrong. She'd served the Blackstone Pack for 5 years, ever since her own pack was destroyed. No family, no rank, no wolf. Her shift had never come, marking her as defective. The servants called her Ghost Girl. She moved through the castle like smoke, invisible except when someone needed blame or labor. Faster, Marcus snapped. Lady Vivian's presentation is tonight. Everything must be perfect. Vivian. The name tasted bitter in Kira's mouth. The Alpha's intended bride. Beautiful, cruel, and convinced the crown was already hers. She'd made Kira's life especially miserable, inventing infractions that earned beatings from the head housekeeper. Night fell like a curtain. Kira hid in the shadows of the great hall as the pack assembled, hundreds of wolves dressed in their finest. Torches blazed. Banners hung from every pillar. At the front, Vivian stood in a gown of midnight silk, her smile sharp as broken glass. The doors crashed open. The crowd's excited murmurs died instantly. Alpha King Damon entered, and wrong was the only word that fit. He'd left 6 months ago, a warrior in his prime. He returned as something haunted. His massive frame seemed carved from shadows now, his movements too fluid, too predatory. But it was his eyes that made Kira's breath catch. They burned with an unnatural silver light, like moonlight through smoke. And across his neck and hands, black veins crawled beneath his skin like poison. "My king," Vivian breathed, rushing forward. "At last you've returned to, don't." His voice cracked like thunder. "Don't touch me." Vivian froze, her smile faltering. "My lord, I don't understand. Where to be? The engagement is ended." Damon's silver eyes swept the hall, and wolves cowered beneath his gaze. "Clear this room. All of you. Now." The pack scattered like frightened rabbits. Kira pressed herself against a pillar, trying to disappear, but those burning eyes found her anyway. "Not you," he said. "Stay." Terror locked her joints. Every instinct screamed to run, but she couldn't move as the hall emptied and the great doors slammed shut. Alone now. Just her and this cursed king. Damon swayed suddenly, his hand clutching the pillar for support. The black veins pulsed, spreading up his jaw. "You're hurt," Kira whispered before she could stop herself. His laugh was bitter. "Hurt? I'm dying. Northern Witch's curse. Every day it spreads. In 2 weeks, it'll reach my heart." He looked at her properly then, his expression twisting with something like despair. "Why are you here? Why didn't you run? You told me to stay. I'm a monster now. Haven't you heard the rumors?" Kira studied him. The way he held himself apart, the careful distance he maintained, the exhaustion etched into every line of his face. "You're afraid you'll hurt someone." His eyes widened. Then he laughed again, softer. "The servant girl sees what the entire pack misses." He pushed off the pillar and took 2 steps before his leg buckled. Kira moved without thinking, catching his arm to steady him. Light exploded between them. Silver fire erupted from the point of contact, racing up Kira's arm and across Damon's skin. He roared, trying to pull away, but the light held them locked together. The black veins recoiled from the silver glow, retreating inch by inch as power she didn't understand poured from her hands into him. The curse fought back. Kira felt it. Ancient malice trying to consume her instead. Her vision blurred. Her knees buckled. But something deeper stirred inside her chest, something that had slept her entire life, suddenly roaring awake. The doors burst open. Wolves poured in, Marcus and Vivian leading them. "She's attacking the king." Vivian shrieked. "Seize her." But Damon's hand shot out, stopping them with a gesture. The silver light faded, and Kira collapsed backward, gasping. Her wrist burned where she'd touched him. No, not burned. Marked. A silver wolf sigil glowed on her skin, intricate and beautiful, pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat. The same mark mirrored on Damon's wrist, binding them. Impossible, Marcus breathed. That's the ancient mate bond. But she's mine. Damon finished, his voice resonant with power and wonder and something fierce. His silver eyes locked on Kira's face. The curse recognized her. She's not human, not broken. She's a healer, Vivian spat. A filthy servant healer you're going to choose over me. Damon's smile was sharp as a blade. Get out. All of you. His hand reached down to Kira. Accept her. She doesn't leave my sight again. Kira's wrist burned with silver fire as Damon pulled her to her feet. Around them, the court stood frozen in shock, their perfect hierarchy crumbling before their eyes. Your Majesty, think clearly, Marcus pleaded. She's unmarked. Wolfless. You can't possibly, can't. Damon's voice dropped to a lethal growl. The temperature plummeted. Did you just tell your Alpha King what he can't do? His silver eyes blazed brighter, and Marcus dropped to his knees, forced down by pure dominance. This girl just pushed back a death curse that had 6 witch healers running in terror. She did what none of you could, what none of you even tried. Vivian's beautiful face twisted with rage. She touched you deliberately. This is entrapment. She probably planted the curse herself. Enough. Damon's command cracked like a whip. You have 10 seconds to leave before I forget you were once important to this pack. Vivian fled, her silk gown billowing, but the venom in her backward glance promised retribution. The others followed, leaving Kira alone with the cursed king, whose mark now burned on her wrist. Can you stand? Damon asked, his voice suddenly gentle. Kira nodded, though her legs trembled. What happened? What is this? She held up her marked wrist. The mate bond. He showed his matching mark. It's ancient magic. When 2 wolves are true mates, the bond manifests as a shared sigil. It's supposed to be sacred, chosen by fate itself. His expression darkened. But you're not a wolf. Your shift never came. So how? I don't know. Kira stared at the glowing mark. I've never been able to shift. Everyone said I was broken. We're suppressed. Damon moved closer, studying her face with an intensity that made her pulse race. The curse recognized power in you. Healer power strong enough to fight ancient dark magic. That kind of gift doesn't appear in broken wolves. I can't heal. I've never been able to do anything except clean floors. You just drove back a curse that's been killing me for 3 months. He held up his hands. The black veins had retreated to his wrists, no longer crawling up his arms. You did more in 30 seconds than 6 master healers managed in weeks. His silver eyes searched hers. Who were your parents? What pack did you come from? Thornwood Pack. But they were destroyed when I was 13. Raiders killed everyone. The memory still ached. I only survived because I was small enough to hide. Thornwood, Damon repeated slowly. They were known for healing magic. Some of the strongest healer bloodlines in the kingdom. He stepped closer, and Kira's breath caught. This close, she could see exhaustion etched into his face, the weight of fighting the curse every moment. You weren't broken, Kira. You were dormant. And when you touched me, when the mate bond snapped into place, it woke something that's been sleeping inside you your entire life. The silver mark pulsed, and suddenly Kira felt it, a thread of connection stretching between them, carrying emotion and sensation. His pain, sharp and constant. His determination. And beneath it all, something warmer, almost tender, directed entirely at her. I can feel you, she whispered. The bond. His hand hovered near her face, not quite touching. It connects mates on every level. Emotion, sensation, location. I'll always know where you are. You'll always feel if I'm in danger. He pulled his hand back. I'm sorry. You didn't ask for this. Being bound to a cursed king isn't exactly a gift. You're apologizing? They'll destroy me for this. Vivian, Marcus, the entire court, they'll see me as a threat now. Let them try. The words rumbled with promise. You're under my protection now. No one touches you. No one speaks to you with disrespect. You're not a servant anymore, Kira. You're my mate. That makes you Luna of the Blackstone Pack. The title hit like a physical blow. I can't be Luna. I don't know how to. Neither did I when I became Alpha King at 19. A ghost of a smile touched his lips. We learn together. The smile faded. But first, we deal with the curse. What you did tonight bought me time, but I felt it. The curse is still there, waiting. It'll come back stronger. Then we do it again. Kira straightened her spine, channeling 5 years of surviving in a hostile court. If I can push it back, I can destroy it. We just need to figure out how. Damon's silver eyes widened slightly. You're not afraid. I'm terrified, but I've been invisible for 5 years, watching and listening while everyone ignored me. I know things about this pack, about the politics and the poison. If we're going to survive what comes next, you need someone who sees what others miss. She met his gaze steadily. And apparently, you need me to keep you alive. For the first time since returning, Damon truly smiled. The servant girl has claws. Good. You'll need them. He offered his arm formally. Come. We have work to do. Kira took his arm, feeling the mate bond hum with approval, and together they walked from the great hall into a gauntlet of hostile stares and whispered threats. By morning, the entire pack knew. The cursed Alpha King had chosen a wolfless servant as his mate, and the court was in chaos. 3 times before noon, Kira found accidents in her path. Loose stones, broken stairs, a chandelier that dropped precisely where she'd been standing seconds before. Damon moved her to the royal wing, stationed guards outside her door, and issued a decree that made Vivian pale with rage. Any harm to Kira would be treated as an attack on the king himself. But that night, as Kira lay in unfamiliar silk sheets, her wrist glowing with the mate mark, she felt something shift in the bond. Pain, sharp and spreading. The curse was fighting back. Kira ran through the midnight corridors in bare feet, following the bond like a compass. Damon's pain blazed through the connection, stealing her breath. She burst through his chamber doors to find him collapsed on the floor, black veins spreading across his chest like cracks in glass. Kira, no, he gasped. It's a trap. The curse waited until we were separated. She dropped to her knees beside him, pressing both hands to the crawling darkness. Silver light exploded from her palms, but the curse fought back viciously, trying to consume her too. The mate mark on her wrist blazed white hot. And suddenly she felt it. Not just the curse, but the structure of it. The threads of dark magic woven with specific intent. She could see how it worked, see the anchor points, see the way to unravel it all if she was willing to pay the price. It would take everything. Every drop of healing magic she possessed, channeled through the mate bond. Don't. Damon groaned, reading her intention through their connection. It'll kill you. It'll kill you if I don't. Kira closed her eyes and opened herself completely to the power that had slept inside her for 23 years. The silver light intensified, pouring into Damon, racing along the black veins and burning them away inch by inch. The curse screamed, an actual sound that shattered the windows. It gathered itself for one final assault, trying to jump from Damon to Kira, to consume the healer who dared challenge it. But the mate bond held firm. The connection between them acted as a conduit, yes, but also as a shield. The curse couldn't fully claim Kira without breaking the bond itself, and the bond was forged from something older than dark magic, older than witches or wars or death. With a sound like tearing fabric, the curse shattered. Black smoke erupted from Damon's skin and dissolved into nothing. The silver veins in his eyes faded, replaced by their natural storm gray. The tension that had held him rigid for months released all at once, and he sagged forward, gasping. Kira caught him, her own energy depleted but alive. The mate mark on her wrist pulsed once, twice, then settled into a steady warm glow. You did it, Damon breathed. You actually. He pulled back to look at her face, and what she saw in his eyes made her heart stutter. Wonder, gratitude, and something deeper, fiercer. Do you understand what you just did? That curse was crafted by 3 northern witches working in concert. It should have been impossible to break. The mate bond made the difference. Kira touched her mark gently. I could feel the structure because we're connected. Your pain showed me exactly where the curse lived. She managed a weak smile. Turns out being bound to a cursed king is useful after all. Damon laughed, a real laugh, free of shadows. Then he cupped her face in both hands, his touch gentle despite his warrior's strength. Thank you. Not just for this. For seeing me when I felt like a monster. For standing beside me when the entire pack wanted you gone. For being brave enough to. The door crashed open. Vivian stood there, Marcus and 3 other court members behind her. Proof, Vivian announced triumphantly. The servant girl alone with the king in his private chambers. This mate bond is clearly manufactured through improper means. The curse is broken, Damon said quietly, standing and pulling Kira up beside him. He held out his arms, showing unmarked skin. What 6 master healers couldn't do, my mate accomplished tonight. Still think she's a powerless servant. Vivian's face cycled through shock, rage, and calculation. Then you don't need her anymore. The crisis is resolved. You can dissolve the bond, and dissolve. Damon's voice dropped to a dangerous rumble. You think I'd cast aside my true mate, the woman who saved my life and my kingdom? He wrapped an arm around Kira's shoulders. Let me be crystal clear. Kira is Luna of this pack. She will be treated with the respect that position demands. Anyone who challenges her challenges me. Anyone who harms her dies. Am I understood? Silence. Then Marcus slowly bent his knee. Luna, he said, and though his voice was tight, he bowed his head. One by one, the others followed. Even Vivian eventually lowered herself, though poison still gleamed in her eyes. After they left, Kira turned to Damon. They'll never truly accept me. 5 years of being invisible doesn't disappear because of a mark and a title. No, he agreed. You'll have to earn their respect. But you're not alone anymore. He took her hands, cradling the glowing mate marks. I see you, Kira. Not as a servant or a healer, or even as Luna. I see you, your strength, your kindness, your courage. And if you're willing, I'd like to spend the rest of my life making sure you never feel invisible again. Kira looked up at the man who'd been a cursed king hours ago, who'd shown her gentleness when he could have taken power, who'd protected her when he had every reason to see her as a tool. I've spent 5 years watching you lead this pack. Even cursed, even dying, you were fair. You protected the weak. You stood against corruption. She smiled. I think I've been a little in love with you since the day you stopped Marcus from beating a stable boy for spilling grain. You just never looked my direction long enough to notice. His expression softened into something that made her breath catch. Then I've been a fool. But I'm looking now. He leaned down slowly, giving her time to pull away. And I'm never looking away again. The kiss was gentle, tentative, perfect. The mate bond sang between them. No longer just a mystical connection, but something they chose. Something real. When they finally broke apart, Dawn was painting the windows gold. So, Kira said, what does a Luna actually do? Because I'm fairly certain cleaning floors isn't on the list anymore. Damon laughed, the sound free and alive. Well, first we plan a proper mating ceremony. Then we reform the servant laws. I'm thinking anyone who treated you poorly gets to experience those same conditions firsthand for a few months. After that, we build a healer's academy so no other gifted wolf grows up thinking they're broken. He pulled her close. And somewhere in there, we learn how to lead this pack together. Interested, Kira thought about the girl who'd scrubbed floors yesterday, invisible and alone. Then she looked at the man beside her and the future stretching bright ahead. Very interested, she said, and kissed her cursed king who was cursed no longer. The mark on her wrist glowed steady and true, and for the first time in 5 years, Kira felt like she'd finally come home.